First thing is first, I want to start out this video by saying there was no preview earlier this week because I unfortunately tested positive for COVID-19. I'm doing okay. Symptoms are kind of hitting in and out, but I hate the fact that the holiday season has to be the time that I have it, and unfortunately I had to be stuck in quarantine for the next 10 to 14 days. But overall, right now, I'm feeling okay. Keep me in your prayers, guys. And let's just get into the Bears' reaction. I cannot believe it. The Bears actually won a football game.
Oh my God! Wow!
Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APWSPORTS signing in. Even though I have COVID, it feels good to be back in front of the camera. It feels good to be able to do one of these videos. And also, it feels good to be able to do one of these videos finally. Finally. After a Bears win, even though it took about a month, but hey, a win is a win. Even though we're out of the playoffs, I will take a Bears win. Before I get into anything I thought about this game, leave this video a like. That helps this channel to grow tremendously, and click that subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss a single video that I post. But without further ado, let's dive into it.
I'm striving to get rich. That's why I almost went 2 years without buying shoes and fits. Things change now. My mom hearing me with my music and she look a little proud.
Wow. Who would have thought it? Who would have thought the Bears actually pulled out a victory? Now, if I would have made a preview video, honestly, guys, I would have picked Seattle to win this game. Because, number one, Nick Foles is starting at quarterback. Two, there's no Dalton or Fields even active for this ball game. The Bears are still hit by a ton of injuries. We just had Akiem Hicks back, and he was gone that fast. And our corners are still decimated. Thomas Graham didn't even start off the game. We also had Tevin Jenkins get hurt during the game. We had Jermaine Fetty starting for Larry Bourne, which I can, for the life of me, don't understand, especially when this team is out of the playoffs and you need to develop your young guys and you play Ifedi over Bourne. Just doesn't understand that. But with this game, it was nice to see the Bears finally do something in the red zone. This team 29th in the red zone, and that has been part of your offensive struggles all season long, that the Bears in the red zone just do not capitalize. And they've had a couple of drives where the first red zone drive they went for it on fourth down, they didn't get it. They ended up selling it for a field goal on another fourth down drive, a red zone drive, and our offense, not very good, and still wasn't that great today, even though they put up 25 points. It was nice to see the receivers making some really good plays after the catch. Marquise Goodwin, you had Darnell Mooney fighting for yards, Kmet even fighting for yards, and on top of that, you had David Montgomery, who's still, I believe, one of the better backs in the league. He just, I believe, gets underrated on a bad football team. And the fact that he missed 4 games this year due to that knee injury. And this Bears defense is still it's a head-scratching defense, even though we have a lot of injuries and COVID. But at the same token, it seems like with this Bears defense, every time we started to get a little bit closer earlier in the ball game, our defense would let up a right quick score right away. And I tweeted that right after they got their second touchdown, immediately they would let up a score. And that is exactly what happened in this ball game. That is exactly what happened in this ball game. Now, of course, Nick Foles, of course, he's not a player of the Bears' future, but that's for a future video. But at the same token, he did come in. He led the Bears to a good amount of third down conversions, because that is another thing the Bears are struggling with. It's converting on third down. And when they had some of those third and manageables, they were able to convert. And I believe that helped. And that was a good difference in this ball game, was the Bears' ability to convert on third downs and keep drives going, especially on the last drive of the game. The Bears were able to keep drives going by converting on third down. Even though red zone, I believe, still a little bit of an issue, the Bears were able to do something on third down today, and that helped a big amount in this ball game. Now, the pressure offensively, our offensive line was just bad. Offensive line was just bad in pass protection for a good amount of the day. And it just seems like Carlos Dunlap was in Nick Foles' pocket damn near every play. It just really seemed like that to me. Carlos Dunlap had a really explosive game today. And our offensive line is already patchwork. And then when you have injuries to Tevin Jenkins with the shoulder during the game, and then you have Ifeadi, who's, I believe, a trash bag. And Jason Peters is not even out there today. So this Bears offensive line was pretty much makeshift at the juncture of this ball game, especially bringing Larry Burrowman to left tackle when I think he's more naturally a right tackle. And our Bears defense, I'm just glad that Robert Quinn is starting to inch a little bit closer to that sack record. Now, I've had some people say that he shouldn't break the record because Dent is a Bear, but records are made to be broken, and Robert Quinn deserves it after the hell of a season that he's had. 17 sacks on a year, and a lot of that was without Khalil Mack to help with the double teams and pressure on the other side of the ball, and he was still able to produce like this. This is a hell of a bounce back season for Robert Quinn. Hell of a bounce back season. And it says a lot when the Bears were able to slow down Russell Wilson for the most part. Outside of that first drive, that bomb to DK Metcalf where Thomas Graham got absolutely toasted. But DK Metcalf, I still believe he's a bit overrated in my opinion. That's just me. I personally believe that DK Metcalf is a bit overrated. I'm not saying he's not talented, but for the most part, I believe he's slightly a bit overrated, but he's still a very good wide receiver. So he's going to get your corners like that, especially young corners for the Bears. Thomas Graham Jr. is only making his second career NFL appearance. So it's going to happen from time to time with a receiver like DK Metcalf. But the secondary held up well for another week. You would have thought with Russell Wilson in this game with Seattle still having some playoff life, still having something to fight for, you would have thought that Seattle would have carved up this Bears defense. And for the most part, they didn't in the passing game. The problem was our run defense, which I think hurts when Akiem Hicks is not in the lineup because he's that big presence up the middle of this Bears defense. Akiem Hicks not being in the lineup hurts this Bears team defensively, and they didn't tackle well for a good portion of this game. Now we all know elements are going to make you run a little bit more than you're willing to, especially with the snow and all that they had up in Seattle, but the Bears did not fare very well defensively against the run in this call game. Whether it was Rashad Penny, Russell Wilson doing a little bit of things with his legs, the Bears' run defense was just not very good today. Our pass defense held up a little bit better than I expected, even though they got a couple of good touchdown drives, a couple of good passes by Russell Wilson. And we all know Russell Wilson is the best deep ball thrower in the NFL, so I believe he's going to get a couple of those every once in a while because that's how accurate he is with the deep ball. But this Bears defense did another good job. I'm not going to say they did the greatest job in the world, But they did give this Bears offense chances to win this game, and oddly enough, the Bears pulled out a victory, which honestly I was not expecting from this Bears team, the way they've been playing, and the decimated by injuries and COVID itself. So overall, the Bears get a win, which makes me feel a little bit better, even with me dealing with this COVID crap. But at the end of the day, this is all I have for you guys. Make sure you guys leave this video a like, comment your thoughts about this game down below, and as always, click that subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss a single video. But I will say this, by continue to keep me in your prayers, guys, as I deal with this COVID crap. It's been in and out for me, but I just want to keep my spirits high and keep everything great. So leaving likes and comments and subscribing and showing me love and support will absolutely help, and keeping me in your prayers will absolutely help through this tough time that I'm dealing with right now. But I'm still getting great spirits. The Bears winning makes me feel even better. So at the end of the day, let's all stay positive. Let's all stay safe out here. Let's all keep mindful of each other. And at the end of the day, we are all one. Let's just keep this together. Let's keep ourselves safe from family, and let's enjoy the holidays the best way we can. But I am APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great and excellent day, and I will catch you guys later on. Peace.